Incremental greetings. Welcome to Pleasure Learning. I'm Guillem Palau, also known as Guillem Palace. And yesterday I did 8 months of milestone of using SuperMemo. And I wanted to create this video now. Why I didn't create it the 6 months video, even if it's a good milestone of half a year. And that's because in January and February I haven't used SuperMemo that much, so I had very little to add. So now I think I have something of value that you may have something to learn from me, especially if you are a new user. So that's more or less the outline I have. So first is that I once again merged the English collection. I made a video about how I split it, then I merged it, I think, and I split it again because I didn't want it to interleave. Because I made one of the mistakes of doing so many petitions that were overcrowding my incremental reading. That most of what I was getting were English items. So, but at the end I have seen that I don't need the final drill. So then it's only a matter of taste of interleaving or not. So what I did is I will be using the collection, but more spread in time. So I don't have this once again. And what happened with this is that they make lots of changes in the stats. Okay, here I have a screenshot taken from the last video 4 months ago. It's roughly 120 days. Now I'm double that time. So you can see everything will be increased, the memorized items, topics, and so on. So I only want to point out a few facts. The memorized topics, not memorized elements by day, it went from 14 to 23. And that's due to the English collection, the English items. And this is true for most of the changes. For instance, the average time it's 3.3 seconds. It's extremely low, and that's because the English items are so quick to do. I don't know how much time I need, but I think it's less than that. So I'm lowering and lowering the average. You see, just to show you, look, not long ago I did 900 items in one single day. April 2nd. It's because I also want to run experiments. It's okay, so I have lots of outstanding topics. Most of them are from English. Let's see what happens if I make all of the items right away as it was Anki as before. And I can tell you, it's not pleasurable. It gets boring. And that's because first, I haven't created those items myself. Second, the degree of difficulty, it's too low. It's too basic for me. Especially because I focused on, I focused on grammar. If you noticed, those are not pending. It's because I did all of those items and so on. So I did lots of grammar, which is kind of, so telentropy becomes very low. But I still wanted to try this. Let's see what happens. Will I get bored using SuperMemo? Yes, I did. Absolutely. Just because of what I was doing with it. It's not something intrinsic with the software. Okay, check that. I think more stats, like, I don't know. The retention rate has decreased slightly, 0.1%. The forgetting index almost the same. The speed has increased, half doubled, from 1,100 on something to almost 2,400. It's ridiculously high, but this is temporary because I did a great deal of items from English recently. So this will be decreasing as time passes. The other thing is that usually I don't check the stats. I know there are so many fancy plots here, and the usual that you have so many tabs for each thing and so on. Yeah, that's actually good. You can tell when I merged the English collection in November. Then I split again in December 10th, and I merged it again in March, just 1 month ago. Yeah, mira. At least I can see this plot is useful for that now. You can easily tell when you have a mass deletion.